Have you ever noticed that some people look incredibly rich, yet quietly struggle with money, while others dress simply, drive ordinary cars, and somehow keep getting wealthier every year? At first, it doesn't make much sense because we've been taught to judge success by what we can see: the house, the car, the watch, the designer clothes, the vacations. If someone owns expensive things, we naturally assume they must be wealthy, but appearances can be surprisingly misleading. In fact, many people spend their entire lives buying things that make them look successful without ever becoming financially free. And that's where one of the biggest wealth traps begins, because every purchase sends your money in one of two directions. It either buys status or it buys an asset. Most people never stop to think about the difference. Imagine two friends who each receive a $50,000 bonus. The first person walks into a luxury dealership and drives home in a brand new sports car. It turns heads. Friends are impressed. Social media loves it. For a while, it feels like success. The second person takes that same money and quietly invests it. Maybe it's a rental property, maybe it's an index fund, maybe it's a small business. Nobody notices. Nobody applauds. In fact, most people think they're being boring. 5 years later, the picture looks very different. The sports car is worth far less than the day it was purchased. It still costs money to insure, to maintain, and to repair. The investment has been quietly growing, producing returns, creating new opportunities, without asking for constant attention. That's the difference. One purchase made someone look richer, the other made someone become richer. And the strange part is, both people believe they were making a smart financial decision. So why do intelligent people keep choosing status over assets? The answer has very little to do with money and almost everything to do with psychology. And once you understand that, you'll never look at expensive purchases the same way again. Why do so many people choose status, even when they know it's hurting their finances? The answer has nothing to do with intelligence. It has everything to do with human psychology. Our brains are wired to seek approval. Thousands of years ago, being accepted by the tribe meant survival. If people respected you, you were more likely to receive help, more likely to find opportunities, and more likely to survive. That instinct never disappeared. It simply changed its form. Today, instead of trying to impress a tribe, we're trying to impress friends, co-workers, neighbors, or complete strangers on social media. Think about it. A brand new luxury car gets attention immediately. People notice it. They compliment it. They ask questions. But an investment account? Nobody sees it. Nobody congratulates you for buying an index fund. Nobody admires your retirement portfolio. Assets grow in silence. Status demands an audience, and that's exactly why status feels so rewarding. Psychologists call this social validation. Every compliment, every like, every moment of admiration gives your brain a small dopamine reward. For a brief moment, you feel successful, but there's a problem. That feeling doesn't last. A few weeks later, the excitement fades. The new car starts feeling normal. The expensive watch doesn't feel special anymore. And before long, your brain starts looking for the next upgrade. A bigger house, a newer car, a more expensive vacation. It's a cycle that never really ends. Psychologists call it the hedonic treadmill. No matter how much you buy, your happiness eventually returns to where it was before, which means you keep spending more without ever feeling more fulfilled. The wealthy understand this. That's why they don't buy things to impress people. They buy things that quietly increase their future options, because every asset gives them more freedom, more choices, and more control over their lives. While everyone else is chasing the appearance of wealth, they're quietly building the real thing. And that's where almost everyone makes one final mistake. They confuse looking successful with becoming successful. And that single mistake can quietly cost them years of financial freedom. So how do wealthy people avoid this trap? They ask a different question. Instead of asking, does this make me look successful? They ask, will this make my future stronger? That one question changes everything. Imagine you're about to spend $10,000. Most people immediately think about what they can buy: a luxury watch, a designer bag, a dream vacation, something that feels exciting today. But wealthy people pause and ask a different question. If this money became an asset instead, what could it give me 5 years from now, or even 10 years from now? Suddenly, the decision feels completely different. You're no longer comparing a product to its price. You're comparing temporary status to long-term freedom. And that's where wealth begins, because assets don't just hold value. The right assets create more value. They generate income. They appreciate over time. And they create opportunities that status symbols never can. That's why Warren Buffett still lives in the same house he bought decades ago. Not because he couldn't afford something bigger, because he never needed his lifestyle to prove his success. His money had a better job to do. It was busy buying businesses, buying ownership, buying time. And over the years, that simple mindset created one of the greatest fortunes in history. That's the real secret. The wealthy don't hate nice things. They simply understand the right order. They buy assets first, then their assets buy the lifestyle. Most people do the opposite. They buy the lifestyle first and spend years trying to pay for it. One path creates freedom, the other creates pressure. So, here's a question worth asking yourself before your next big purchase. Is this buying me status, or is it buying me freedom? Because every dollar is casting a vote for the life you'll live tomorrow. And the people who build lasting wealth aren't the ones with the most impressive lifestyle. They're the ones whose assets quietly keep growing long after the applause has disappeared. Because in the end, status fades, luxury gets old, but ownership keeps paying you for the rest of your life.